All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power, Abanawi Yahweh. Do so in the name of His only begotten Son, the Mashiach Yahweh Shah, the one who the word in He calls Jesus Christ. Um, we out here. Today we're going to go into fasting and prayer. Fasting and prayer is something that's very important in these last days. Fasting and prayer together works wonders. You know what I mean? And it's like we got to get prepared because we know the war is coming. It's about to get real hectic out here. So we got to build up our bodies, and fasting and prayer is how we build up our soul, build up our spirit. You know what I'm saying? When you fasting and prayer is like lifting weights for your spirit. You know what I mean? That's how you show your humbleness to the Most High. That's how you build up your faith. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get into some scriptures that prove all that. We start off with 2 Corinthians. Start off 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. Wow. This is about to get real hectic, and we need to get ourselves right. And this is the start.
It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. For
Mm-hmm.
though we walk in the flesh, we do
And
not
we do
war.
walk in the flesh. We in the flesh right now, but what?
We do not war after the flesh.
The war that we're going through right now, even though the physical war is coming, the war that we have every day is a spiritual war. So every
Con,
day you go to work, you fighting against demons, trying to
con,
throw you off, lust demons, addiction demons, all type of demons that we fighting off. You know what I mean? Every single day. So we got to build ourselves up because you get tired. You could actually be physically feeling drained after dealing with demons all day. You know what I mean? So we got to build our spirit up so we be able to keep that fight up, right? But read that again.
For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
For the weapons
Read.
of our warfare are not carnal,
Yeah, the
but mighty
weapons of
through
our
the Most High.
warfare are not carnal. We're not going to be. This is not a physical thing. This is a spiritual thing right now, right? Read on.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds.
And that's our job. We're supposed to be out there pulling down the strongholds of Christianity, pulling down the strongholds of Islam, so on and so forth. We got to be prepared for that. You know what I mean? We got to build up that faith, build up that spiritual strength to fight this spiritual war, right? Read on.
Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High,
Right. Read on.
and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushua.
Right. So we out here tearing down, battling these people, spiritually battling them. They see us with fringes. Why you wear that? You know what I mean? They didn't want to fight you, battle you over that. Oh, you don't have to wear that no more. This and that. Why you don't eat pork? Every time this comes up, especially when it comes to pork, why you don't eat pork? Oh, you can eat pork now. Like they want to battle you on that stuff, which is crazy. The Sabbath. Why you keep the Sabbath? We're gonna constantly have these battles, right? And he said, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, which is a hard thing to do. It's a hard
Yes,
thing to
yes.
do. Like I remember talking, shout out to Captain Yeshaya. I remember talking to him one time, and he was like, he said, yo, your mind is like a 3-year-old child. Like you could be holding his hand. You just let go and look away for a second, look back. He halfway down the block. You gotta chase after him. You know what I mean? That's how our mind is. We gotta stay on it. It'd be hard sometimes. I know it was times like I just close my eyes and an image pop up in my head. I'm fighting to get that image out. I open my eyes right back up. You know what I mean? I gotta
And
keep
that
my eyes open. Every
and
time I
that's
close
crazy. That's crazy because I'm always going through that. Like I'm thinking to myself, like I know that every day is a battle, but I don't really conceive every second is a battle
mm-hmm.
because I'm thinking about something all the time and I'm having to try to
Right.
catch it. You know?
Right. So we gotta bring all these things into subjection. If we let these thoughts fester in our mind, it leads to us doing things that we shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? But we could drop that. Let's grab First Peter's chapter 5. First Peter's chapter 5. All this is to build up our faith. When you build your faith is everything. You know what I mean? Your faith is what keeps you going. You know what I mean? And when you build up your faith, how you build up your faith is by fasting and prayer, right? But let's get First Peter chapter 5, and we start at verse 6.
It's a book of First Peter chapter 5, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time.
Right. So we got to humble ourselves. Remember, also fasting is how we humble ourselves to the Most High. Right. We're going to see that scriptures that go into that also. But we got to humble ourselves to him that he may exalt us in due time, that he'll put us over whatever obstacle we need to overcome. You know what I mean? That he'll put us up there and people let our light shine. You feel what I'm saying? To read on.
Verse 7, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you.
Right.
Verse 8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Yeah, and the devil is out there trying to get us to go against the Most High. That's his whole purpose. That's his job. He out there accusing us, trying to get us to go against him. He out there like, yeah, see, he's not one of your chosen. Yeah, see, he's not that one. He's not gonna make it. I have him curse you to your face. You know what I mean? That's his job. He out there trying to take us down. So we got to be physically strong to fight him because it's nothing weak about him or his demons. Ain't nothing weak about them, right? So let's read on.
Verse 9, who resisted steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world.
And we got to keep that in mind too, because a lot of times we feel like we're the only one that's going through certain things. When his brother is going through the same exact thing we're going through. Like this is going all out over the world, and we need to constantly pray for each other, pray for the brothers in this truth to make sure that try to help them, give that extra spiritual defense for these brothers, right?
Absolutely. What if we don't pray? Don't pray. Is that a bad thing?
It's not. Yeah, because I'm not saying it's a sin, but you're not building yourself up if you don't pray. You're praying is to get you closer to the Most High, huh?
How often should it be? Like, say, like when I'm fasting or whatever.
Go ahead, my fault.
No, I'm just saying, like when I'm fasting, it's like I might get through a day of fasting, but I might have prayed like 4 times that day. Or I might think to myself, I'm at work, I should pray, but then I get sidetracked and I'm doing something. I'll be thinking to myself, see, the demons are trying to distract me from thinking about it. Like you were just saying a second ago, like, like I don't know how, like if I'm praying too much, if I'm, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
There's no such thing as praying too much as long as you pray. You see brothers, one constant thing we see in the scriptures, we see brothers like, for instance, Daniel, he prayed 3 times, definitely 3 times a day. No less than 3 times. He prayed in the morning, at night, and in the middle of the day. David, we see, did the same thing. You know what I mean? You can pray as much as you can, you know what I mean? But you still want to pray. You want to make sure you're sending up, I would say, at least 2 prayers a day. One when you wake up, one when you go to sleep. I know we in captivity right now, so in the middle might be a little difficult for some brothers. You know what I mean? But you want to send up some prayers a day to the Most High. That's how you're building your strength.
Now, if we just saying, yo, thank you, Father, is that considered a prayer? We just giving?
That's a prayer also. It's a short prayer. It's not really asking him or going into everything you want to go into, but you're saying thanks. You're giving praises to him.
Because I don't ask for nothing.
I mean, we should though. You want to ask for strength in his truth. You want to ask that he builds you up. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna need that.
He asking for.
No, but that sounds good. I understand that. Like physical things and stuff like that. I don't like ask. I don't ask for no money. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But when it comes to build you up in his truth, to be a better servant for him, there ain't nothing wrong with asking that at all.
I think I got the same problem. Like I don't ask for nothing. I just be like, thank you for what you've done. Because like I should be out back right now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't ask for much, but then sometimes I'll be thinking to myself, it's because I feel like I can do everything. And I carnally, I have that issue upon the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been taking care of myself for 40 years. Like I have a hard time asking.
Keep that in mind. That's him that did all that. You know?
Right. See what I'm saying?
So the thanks is always good. The thanks is definitely good. But you want to be able to do better. Yo, I ask for stuff like, help me get knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Help me be able to teach your people and bring them back. You know what I'm saying? I definitely pray for the brothers. That's one thing I always look out for the brothers that sincerely in this truth, trying to, keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Help them with their health situation. And certain people, I actually bring their name up, especially if I know they're going through some health situations. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's always good. You want to pray for that because he says that's how you're supposed to come to him, and he'll grant you that. You coming sincerely, he's gonna grant you that. You want to be good in this truth. You want to wake up your brothers. Pray for that. You know what I mean? We can go
Verse
on.
10.
Actually, now you can stop there. Let's grab real quick Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6 and 10. Without prayer and fasting, we're not really going to build up in this truth.
Now I remember talking to someone. I want to say, but he said he doesn't fast, and he said he doesn't fast, and this someone has been in the truth for a long time, but he said he doesn't fast at all.
Not even for a Day of Atonement?
I don't know. I didn't ask that much.
Okay.
But he said like
I knew
like
somebody
a regular fast, like doing the fast on his own. He said he doesn't do it. He said he doesn't do it.
I know somebody that said that too. It might be the same person. They only fast for the Day of Atonement. But I recently heard him saying, and he was talking about it. He did a class, and he said, yeah, he definitely needs to fast more. And he haven't been doing it, but I think he actually started fasting more.
I do. I need to fast more. There's no question.
Huh?
I need to fast more. There's no question. My spirit must have the dad bod because, like, I do fast, but it don't be how I think. Or I'll do a 24-hour joint. Like, remember I told you I'll try to eat a whole bunch of stuff real quick and then go fast, and I'd be like, I'm fasting for the whole 24-hour period, but I also stuffed my face right before this, so like I could make it. Like, right. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't suggest it. Eat a light meal, you know what I mean, and then get into the fast. But as long as you fasting, you know what I mean. But let's get a Ephesians chapter 6.
All right, verse 10.
Verse 10.
There's the book of Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Most High and in the power of his might.
Right, read on.
Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Now, and everything that he's about, almost everything that he's about to go into, he's actually quoting Isaiah. A lot of Christians, they get into this stuff. They hear Paul speaking, they think, oh, this is the words of Paul. This is, something he made up. Constantly, he quotes the Old Testament, mainly Isaiah, a lot of Isaiah. Like what he's going into now is Isaiah 59, verses 16 and 19. You know what I mean? We could probably grab that later on. Let's read this real quick.
Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers.
Right. We wrestle against like principalities is like rulers of dark places, rulers of high level demons, basically. You feel what I'm saying? This is what we're wrestling. This is what we constantly fighting against right now. Right? Principalities, read.
Against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Yeah, so we wrestling this. We're not just the brothers in this truth. People in the world, they got them low-level demons on them. Once you get into this truth, you got high-level demons aiming for you. They coming at you. Huh? You said what's a what? I mean, I don't know their names or nothing like that, but demons that's trying to come at brothers in the truth. Brothers that's keeping the Lord's statute commandments. There's always an order in everything. Amongst the angels, we got orders. Amongst the demons, they got order.
Even the stars are in order, I read.
Say that again?
Even the stars are in order, I read.
Right. Everything has got its order. Right? So he said he got against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? Read on.
Verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand.
Right.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
Loins girt with truth, about with truth. What is truth? We know what truth is.
The commandments, the word of the Most High.
What scripture is that? You know? That's so good. Here, you can grab it. Psalms 119.
All right.
119,
Salakia,
142.
Salakia, Salakia.
You good.
142 or 119? Oh,
119, 142.
That's the biggest chapter, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the biggest chapter in the whole world.
Psalms 119, 142.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, all right, come on. Yeah, it is long.
You go ahead, read it.
Me.
Huh?
This is Psalms, chapter 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is in everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Thy law is the truth, right? So he says, stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth. What is the truth? The law. So we supposed to gird ourselves with that law, right? You can read on.
Unto the whole army. Salakia. Stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
And having a breastplate on with righteousness. What is righteousness? According to the scriptures.
That's also the law. That's also the truth.
Also the law. Deuteronomy 6 and 24. There, grab that real quick. I'm going to read 24 and 25.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Most High, to fear Yahweh our Father, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day.
So he said, do good. Keep all that statutes that he commanded us for our good. For our good. You know what I mean? It's going to help us. Why? Because it's going to preserve us alive. He won't kill us all. Right? As it is this day. Right? Read on.
Verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness.
It shall be our righteousness. Them laws. Us keeping them laws is our righteousness. Right? Read.
If we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our power, as he has commanded us.
Right? So our righteousness is keeping those commandments. Our law is truth, our righteousness is keeping them commandments, right? So we're supposed to stand therefore with our loins girt about with the truth and having the breastplate of righteousness, right? Read on.
Verse 15, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Mm-hmm.
Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
Remember that. We got to remember that faith right there. We got to take on that field of the shield of faith, right? And we're going to see how we build up that faith, right? Read on.
And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High.
Read.
Praying always.
Now, Paul is saying pray always. Supposed to constantly pray, right? Pray always, right? Read.
Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
So he's saying we should pray always and pray for the saints. Pray for all the saints. You know what I mean? Pray for Israel. Right? But let's grab real quick Isaiah 59:16. See where Paul got this from.
And see, like here, Paul's reiterating these things from Isaiah because he's not in Jerusalem. He's out there in whatever, in this case, in the city of Corinth. And so a lot of he's Paul's out there in the city of Corinth, right? So a lot of those men out there were never raised in Jerusalem. A lot of those men
you're right. What we was just reading, he was in Ephesus though, right there.
Oh, Ephesus. I'm sorry, Ephesus, right?
But he yeah, you're right though. A lot of them wasn't, but they still had synagogues. Like he was going to the synagogues in all these places. Everywhere we were scattered, we had synagogues. You know what I mean? So we had the scrolls and stuff like that. A lot of them didn't speak Hebrew in those places. A lot of them spoke, Greek, so they had the Greek scrolls and so on and so forth. But they knew the prophets. They knew what was going on, and that's what he was teaching. So he quoting to them. They know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Because he would go.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, they knew what he was talking about because he was going to the synagogues first. Every time he went to a spot, he went to the synagogues and amongst the churches and all that stuff.
Okay.
Right. So he said, Isaiah 59:16.
All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 16. And he saw that there was no man, and wondered that where was no intercessor. Therefore, his arm brought salvation unto them, and his righteousness it sustained him.
Right. Read on.
For he put on righteousness as a breastplate, and
an helmet,
right, and an helmet of salvation upon his head.
Right.
And he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing, and was clad with zeal as a cloak.
Right. Read on.
According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense.
Right. The Most High is going to pay back his enemies for everything they done. Right. Read on.
So shall they fear the name of the Most High from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Most High shall lift up a standard against him.
Right. So the Most High is going to pay back his enemies, but we see where it comes to that the whole armor of the Most High that was talked about from Isaiah. Right. So we could go to let's get real quick. Let's get Matthews 17:14.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 14. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him and saying, Most High, have mercy on my son.
Lord, he's talking to Yahushua.
Oh, come, Salakia. Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic and sore vexed.
So this man's son is possessed. This man's son is possessed with a demon. Right, read on.
So he has a mental illness.
Yeah, he has a demon on him. That's what it is.
Right. For oft times he falleth into the fire, and often to the water.
Right. So he this demon take over him so powerful. Like some people that got demons on them, they just do weird stuff. But this one actually got him hurting himself. But he throwing himself in the fire, throwing himself in the water, so on and so forth. Right. So
would that be the same demon that had people cut themselves?
It could be. It could be something on that level. Yeah, people cutting themselves, like that's not something normal. Yeah. Something normal that people do. Right. We'll read on.
Verse 16, and I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him.
We got to keep in mind, the disciples was casting out demons and healing people at this time. But this one, for some reason, they couldn't do it. You say, I brought him to your disciples. They couldn't cure him. They couldn't help him out. Right? So what was Yahushua's answer to this? Right? Read on.
Verse 17, then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation.
How so what's long? The problem?
They have no faith.
The faith. Well, the faith wasn't there.
So their faith
was already casting,
That's what go ahead. That's what I was about to ask, because they was already doing that. So was their faith not strong enough for this particular demon?
Yeah, their faith wasn't built. They had faith, obviously, because they casting out demons, they healing people. Their faith wasn't up there though.
That's like, for example, you got an undefeated basketball team or sports team, and they gotta play the defending champions, and they get intimidated because they the champions, even though they undefeated, they haven't lost, but they the champions. So it's like, damn, I don't know if we can beat them or not.
Right. Now, here's the thing though, I like how you put that, and I can see that, but we're not actually sure if they knew that this was on some high level demon like that, because as we read on, they wondering why they couldn't do it. But I like how you put that, and I can see that. But let's read on.
Then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long should I suffer you? Bring him hither to me.
Right.
And Yahushua rebuked the devil, and it departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour.
So Yahweh Shah was like, yo, y'all faith ain't up there. So it's not just it's weird. It's weird. It's definitely a spiritual thing. You know what I mean? He say, yo, their faith ain't up there. Yahweh Shah rebuked them. That devil was going out of him real quick, right? But read on.
Then came the disciples to Yahushua apart and said, why could we not cast him out? And
So they
Yahushua
not
said,
understanding why they couldn't do it. Like, yo, why couldn't we cast it? Like, we've been casting out demons. Why couldn't we cast this one out, right? He said, read.
and Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief. For
Now,
verily I
it's
say unto you.
possible. Here's the thing. It's possible because this demon is actually throwing himself in the fire and the water that it was on some shit like, still like my language, but it was on something like that. But they like, yo, I never seen nothing like this. This is a high level demon, and they probably did get scared. You feel what I'm saying? It makes sense, right? The Yahweh Shah definitely saying, yo, it's because your unbelief. Your belief ain't all the way there, right? Read on.
And Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall be able to say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
Yo, the thing about a mustard seed too, he said if you had the faith the size of a mustard seed is very small. Very small. But that one mustard seed, you bite into that, it's going to clear your sinuses and all that. That one small seed is very powerful. You feel what I'm saying? You say you have faith of a mustard seed, right? You finish that verse, right?
Come.
Read that last part of it.
It shall, I shall say unto you, if you have faith of a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say to this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
Nothing shall be impossible unto you. Right? So their problem was they didn't have the faith, they didn't believe. They was probably casting out demons, knowing they can, but really didn't have faith in themselves to do it. Something along those lines, right? But what is the cure to that?
Yeah, kind of.
What is the cure to building up that faith? Read on.
Verse 21, howbeit this kind goeth not out by prayer and by fasting.
So this kind only goes out by prayer and fasting. You got to build up. How you build, the whole problem was them not having faith. And he said the only way you're going to be able to get rid of this kind of demon is by praying and fasting. That's what's going to build up your faith.
Now he's speaking to the disciples. So is he saying that you guys need to start praying and fasting to get to that level? I see that, but does that also go? Well, does that also go for the target, for the person that was, well, the guy's possessed, he's not going to fast. So like,
you saying what, for the lunatic?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he was praying and fasting, he might have never had that demon in him in the first place.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But the disciples, if they was praying and fasting, and we know they wasn't doing it a lot, because there was times when you see the Pharisees, remember, they was, or in John's disciples, they was like, yo, we fast all the time. Why your disciples not fasting? You know what I mean? They was complaining about that. So we seen that they not really fasting like that. But Yahweh Shah had a good excuse for it. He was like, yo, the bridegroom is here. Why would they mourn while fast while I'm here? They should party while I'm here. You know what I mean? But yeah, we could drop this one. Let's grab Tobit chapter 12. Tobit chapter 12, verse 8.
It's the book of Tobit, chapter 12, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer is good with fasting and alms.
Prayer is good with fasting. Like, it all goes hand in hand. They go perfectly together. Every time you see somebody fasting in the scripture, you see them sending up prayers to the Most High. You know what I mean? Prayer goes good with fasting, right? Read on.
And alms. Alms is giving something to somebody, charity? Is that
alms is charity, basically, helping out, paying alms. They pay alms to the church. They pay alms to, just help people out. But a lot of times you see the alms was to forward the ministry. You know what I mean? Pay so that people could be able to travel to these different parts and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Right? He said alms and what else?
And righteousness.
And righteousness. We know our righteousness is keeping them laws. Right? Read on.
A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness.
Uh-huh.
It is better to give alms than to lay up gold.
It's better to help out than to lay go. So the main purpose we got into that was prayer is good with fasting. Those go hand in hand. And you got, of course, alms and righteousness, but those go hand in hand. That's what we need, right? That's how we build up our faith. And we're gonna need that in this place, man. In a place like this, we're gonna need that to build up our faith to get through this. Because it's about to get real hectic. And we want to build ourselves up to be able to fight off these demons and fight off these spiritual battles that we're gonna have to go through. Right? Let's grab Psalms 35. Say you got some? Oh, come. Psalms 35:13.
Yo, Esdras fasted a lot. I was watching how Esdras was fasting. He was fasting for like weeks at a time. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
he get a small answer. They'd be like, if you fast for another week, we'll come talk to you again. I'm like,
Yeah. We actually gonna go into that. We're gonna go into that.
Okay. So Psalms 35 or 39?
Psalms 35:13. Come.
All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 35, verse 13. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into me, my own bosom.
He said he humbled his soul with fasting. That's how you actually humble yourself to go towards the Most High. That's why prayer and fasting goes perfectly together. You fasting and you pray, you're showing the Most High your humbleness. Like it's you going down on your knees, bending down, kissing the ring of the king or something along those lines. You feel what I'm saying? That's how we humble ourselves to the Most High. And he says prayer returns to his own bosom. And I mean, the Most High, we see when we fast, our prayers a lot of times get answered. You know what I mean? Let's grab Psalm 69 and 10.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 69, verse 10. When I wept and chastened my soul with fasting, that was to my reproach.
Right. He wept and chastened his soul to fasting. Chastened his soul. He afflicted his soul with the fasting. Right. That's how he came humble to the Most High. Now we could drop that. Let's grab Ezra. Ezra 8. And we're going to start at verse 21.
Ezra. You said Ezra, right?
Yep.
Talk about it. I don't. That's one of the few books I never memorized this location. Hold on.
It's right before Nehemiah.
I got you. Ezra, what now?
Ezra chapter 8, verse 21.
This is Ezra chapter 8, verse 21. And then I proclaimed a fast there at the river of Ava.
Now we know the story. We know the story of Ezra, Qam. Ezra was during the time of the Persian captivity. And Ezra and Nehemiah was given the okay to go rebuild the gates of Jerusalem.
Yeah, that's in
right.
It's in this, but it starts in here. In Ezra. Ezra and Nehemiah talks about it. Like when you look at the old Bibles, first and second Esdras is actually considered third and fourth Esdras.
Okay, that's what I.
Right, and Ezra would be considered first Esdras, and Nehemiah would be considered second Esdras. Right, so they got the okay to rebuild the gates of Jerusalem and all that, and all the people that was around us, the Ammonites, the Canaanites, all them, they was not liking that. They was coming at us, trying to fight against us to stop us from building up. They didn't want us there. You know what I mean? So this is what it's going into. He says, so he proclaimed a fast, right? Read.
There at the river of Hava, that we might afflict ourselves before our Most High.
They afflict themselves before their power. You know what I mean? They humble themselves before the Most High, right? Read.
To seek of him a right way for us and for our little ones and for our substance.
Right, so they made sure that they fasted so that they could go to him so that they'll get their prayers answered. Right, read on.
For I was ashamed to require of the king.
Verse 22 right
22? 22, right? Huh?
Yeah.
For I was ashamed to require of the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to help us against the enemy in the way, because we had spoken unto the king, saying, the hand of our Most High, the hand of our power is upon all them for good that seek him, but his power and his wrath is against all them that forsake him.
Right. Read.
So we fasted and besought our power for this, and he was entreated of us.
So they fasted and prayed. They besought the Most High. I mean, they went to him, they prayed to him, and he was entreated of them. So he heard that. He liked that. Entreated, like he was. Let me get the exact definition of that. Entreated.
Cain, I think it was Qam.
Entreated. Now it's like he accepted it. He liked it that they did that. Entreated. Entreated, beg or plea with, implore to make earnest request of persist. That's the entreat, and he was entreated, so he liked that. He took that. Right? Yeah, but let's go on. Oh, you could drop that. But yeah, they basically they fasted and prayed to the Most High for that, and he accepted that. He accepted that. He took that, and he helped them out with the situation that they were going through. And we constantly see this going on in the scriptures, right? Let's grab Jonah. Jonah. Jonah chapter 3. And we're going to start from the top.
Chapter 3, verse 1. This is the book of Jonah, chapter 3, and verse 1. And the word of the Most High came unto Jonah the second time, saying, arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee.
Right. So
Verse
now
3.
Nineveh, this is where the northern kingdom was taken. When they was taken out of Israel, this is where they was taken to Nineveh. Right?
That's where they were taken to?
Yeah. They was taken to Nineveh. Nineveh,
Okay.
that's from the Assyrians had control of Nineveh. Right? Read on.
So Jonah arose and went unto Nineveh, according to the word of the Most High. Now Nineveh was exceeding great city of 3 days journey. And Jonah
Go ahead, Salaki.
And Jonah began to...
Hold on, give me a second.
Come.
Salaki, my fault. Go ahead.
So this is the book of Jonah, chapter 3 and verse 4. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried and said, yet 40 days and Nineveh shall be overthrown.
So this is what the Most High told him. This is his judgment to them. The Most High never just destroys a place. Like he'll send that warning there first. You know what I mean? He said, in 40 days. He said, in 40 days, I'm gonna throw this place down. I'm gonna destroy this place. And y'all Negroes is wicked. In 40 days, I'm gonna destroy this place, right? Read on.
Verse 5. So the people of Nineveh believed the Most High and proclaimed a fast and put on sackcloth.
They believed what he said, and they did what? They proclaimed a fast, right? Read.
And put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them even to the least of them.
So everybody in Nineveh fasted.
Right? Now, that's a little different than the other prophets, because the other prophets still rebuke a city and they just kind of like scoff at them, but they actually believe Jonah here.
Right. And remember what the Most High said. Let's grab real quick Jeremiah 18, because this was Hamites and Israelites amongst this place, Nineveh. Nineveh probably had other nations too, because they was big like that. They was big like Babylon. They was big like Egypt. You feel what I'm saying? Nineveh would have been not too far from It would have been around like Iraq, Kuwait area.
Jeremiah what?
Jeremiah chapter 18,
And
verse 8.
this is Jeremiah chapter 18 and verse 8. If
Uh-huh.
that nation against whom I
Matter
have
of fact, start at
pronounced,
7. Start at 7, Salakia.
at verse 7, at what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to pluck up and pull down and destroy it.
Now the Most High did that with Nineveh. He told Jonah, "Yo, go to Nineveh and tell them people." Right? Read.
Verse 8, if that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of the evil that I thought to do unto them.
Right. So the Most High say, "Yo, if they turn from that, it didn't matter who it was. If they turn from that, then I won't do what I said I would do to them."
And that's the northern kingdom or all of Israel.
This was northern in Nineveh.
Yeah.
Nineveh was a Hamite kingdom. It was a Hamite kingdom, but there was a lot of the northern kingdom was there also. You had the northern kingdom, plus there's probably other nations over there. But remember what he said when we saw that 7, he said that nation or that kingdom. This prophecy was towards that kingdom. You feel what I'm saying? Of Nineveh. So he's saying, yo, I'm about to destroy this place in 40 days, right? So they all, it said what? Read that again from 5. Jonah 3 and 5.
3 and 5 or 18 and 5?
Jonah chapter 3, verse 5.
Oh, Jonah.
Yeah.
Chapter 3 and verse 5. So the people of Nineveh believed the Most High and proclaimed a fast and put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them even to the least of them.
So from the greatest of them to the least of them, everybody that was in Nineveh repented. Everybody fasted. Everybody repented. Right? Read.
For word came unto the king of Nineveh, and he arose from his throne, and he laid his robe from him, and covered him with sackcloth, and sat in ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7, and he caused it to be proclaimed and published through Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, let neither man nor beast, herd nor flock, taste anything. Let them not feed nor drink water.
So nobody, nobody, no person, no animals, nothing. They had even the animals fasting that day. You know what I mean? Read on.
But let man and beast be covered with sackcloth, and cry mightily unto the Most High. Yeah, let them turn every one from his evil way and from the violence that is in their hands.
Right, read.
Who can tell if the Most High will turn and repent and turn away from his fierce anger, that we may perish not?
Right.
And the Most High saw their works, and that they turned from their evil way, and the Most High repented of the evil that he had said that he would do unto them, and he did it not.
And he did it not. So the Most High, they're fasting. The Most High let them rock. He wound up destroying them like 40 years later, anyways, because they went right back to their wickedness.
I see. There's something about that, right? So he said they destroyed them in 40 days. They chilled out. Then he destroyed them 40 years
40
later.
years later, yeah.
What's up with the 40?
They went right back to their wickedness. They didn't keep that repentance up. You know what I mean? They repented at one time and then went right back to their wickedness. Jonah, and I want y'all to read Jonah too. Jonah was mad that the Most High let them rock. He wanted them to be destroyed.
I read this one. Didn't he go back? Didn't he sit on the other side of the city and just sit
to watch it? Yeah.
I read that and he was like, man, because I thought it was funny because he goes through all this. He gets eaten by a whale. He gets thrown up. Then he gets the plant, and then like the worm eats the plant. He goes through all this, and then when he gets there, he's like, all right, all y'all gonna repent. And they're like, yeah, sure. He's like,
yeah, he was tight about that because he didn't want to go. The whole reason he didn't want to go and tell him in the first place, they were so wicked. He was like, nah, just destroy him. I don't want to go tell him nothing. I don't want to have to warn him.
That's me. Oh my God. Yo, that's me. That's me on the street. Like, I shouldn't have to tell them, man. Like, they're going to burn anyway. That's me, bro.
Yeah, but the Most High has his ways. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we see these whole people, this whole nation, whole kingdom, I should say, repented and fasted. And the Most High heard that, right? Let's get Esther chapter 4.
That's 4 and what? 4 and what from the top? From the top?
No, start at verse 10.
All right, let me know. This is book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 10. And Esther spake unto Hatak
The touch.
and gave him commandment unto Mordecai.
Now we know Esther. Esther was actually she was a Benjamite but she became the queen of Persia. She married the king.
That was in there. She got her.
Yeah, hers is in there also. The rest of the book actually. Yes, Esther, I should say. But yeah, she married the king of Persia, and there was an Edomite from the tribe of Amalek that was really trying to get all of Israel killed. Like he was trying to get them killed, Haman, and he had talked to the king and had him put out a decree that everybody kill off all the Jews. Right?
Took his head.
Yeah. But that's not that one. Haman actually got hung because he built gallows. He wanted to hang Israel. He built a whole bunch of gallows, and he wound up getting hung on the gallows that he built to kill Israel. Right?
They're always trying to kill Israelites. Why is their favorite way hanging us?
Like, that's Esau for you. That's Esau.
Like he could kill us a million ways, but that's his preferred method. So I guess he can just look up at us. I don't know. Anyway, verse 11: all the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whatsoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death.
Right. So now, Esther was scared. Esther was scared, even though she was the queen. She was scared. Like, yo, listen, they just put out this decree to kill all the Jews. Like, what am I supposed to do now? If I go in this court, he could have me killed because he had his other wife. The reason why he took on Esther, he had his other wife killed because she didn't come when he called her. So now Esther comes when she wasn't called. You know what I mean? She's worried now, right? But read on.
Except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days.
He's like, yo, I ain't even see him in 30 days. Like, you want me to just walk up in there? Right? You know?
And they told Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. For
don't think that you're gonna be able to survive. Like, if they got the decree to kill all Jews, you and your father's house gonna go right along with them. Right? Read on.
For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement be deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise.
So she gave Mordecai, she was like, yo, is Mordecai well known, and he was up there, well known amongst Israel, amongst the Jews, I should say, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, that's who was left in the land at this time. Well, in Shushan, which is part of Persia. So he like, she said, tell them all fast for 3 full days, 3 full days for us, and me and my me and my maidens are gonna do the same thing. Right? Read.
And so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish.
So you see, she's worried. She's like, if I perish, I perish. But fast for me that the Most High let me live. Right? Read on.
So Mordecai went his way and did according to all Esther had commanded him.
You can read on.
Chapter 5, verse 1. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house, and the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. Verse 2. And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter.
Right. So the Most High, she prayed. She did the fast for it, prayed, and the Most High let it be so that she would be able to rock, that she'd be able to get away with that. You feel what I'm saying? That's something that was pretty much unheard of. with that Persian king. You can't anything you do that's against his laws. Like he's not showing no type of mercy for you. But the Most High let it be that Esther was able to find grace amongst that king in many different ways, right? Let's grab Second Ezra chapter 5.
Second Ezra 5 and
13.
This is the book of Second Ezra 5, chapter 5, and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
To show thee such tokens I have leave, and if thou wilt pray again and weep as now, and fast 7 days, thou shalt hear yet greater things.
So this is the angel Uriel talking to Ezra, right? And he told him some stuff, but he was like, "Yo, with great," he said, "Such tokens I have leave, and if thou wilt pray again and weep as now, and fast 7 days, thou shalt hear yet greater things." So Ezra had to fast in order to be able to get certain information from the Most High. You know what I mean? Passed down. He said greater things. Like the stuff that Ezra was shown everything that Moses was shown. Moses was pretty much shown everything. You know what I mean? Plus some other things also. So Ezra was up there. He was dealing with the Most High heavy. Right? He said, "Yo, fast 7 days, weep and pray, and I got you. I'm gonna show you greater things." Right? Let's jump down to verse 21.
Verse
So
21.
after that, after he fasted them 7 days, let's jump down to 21.
21, verse 21. And after 7 days, so it was that the thoughts of my heart were very grievous unto me again, and my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again.
So after them 7 days, his spirit recovered. He said, "My soul recovered the spirit of understanding," which is Uriel. That spirit was able to come back, and he began to talk to the Most High again, because Uriel was speaking for the Most High, right? We could jump. So, and he showed him a lot of different more prophecies. We could jump down to chapter 6. Chapter 6, verse 30.
Khan, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
And these words said he unto me, I am come to show thee the time of the night to come. If thou wilt pray yet more, and fast 7 days again, I shall tell thee greater things by day than I have heard.
Yeah, so he like, yo, you fast 7 more days, you're going to get even greater things than I told you before. Like that fasting building that faith, and that humbles us to the Most High, and it gets us closer to Him. You know what I'm saying? Now He able to get all this understanding by fasting, right? Let's we could jump chapter 9, verse 23.
This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, and verse 23. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fast in them.
So it's going to show this is actually a different type of fast. What we'll call a fast now, right? It's a different type of fast. He said, cease 7 days more. But this one, it's not that you can't eat or drink. This is going to be a little different, right? Read on.
But thou shalt not fast in them, but go into a field of flowers where no house is builded, and eat only the flowers of the field. Taste no flesh, drink no wine. Eat flowers only.
Right. So he said this time you're gonna only eat flowers. We see something along this line with Daniel also. With Daniel, he wasn't eating flowers, he was eating like vegetables and stuff like that. He fasted from bread, wine, and meats. Right? Actually, we could grab that next too. But read on.
Salakia, verse 25. And pray unto the highest continually, then will I come to talk with thee. So I went my way into the field, which is called Ardath, like as he commanded me, and I sat among the flowers and did eat of the herbs of the field, and the meat of the same satisfied me.
Right. So he didn't eat no meat. He just ate straight flowers. And you've seen in verse 25 where he say, pray to the Most High, pray to the highest continually, and then I will come and talk with thee. You know what I mean? So that's what gets us closer to the Most High, building that faith, and that gets us closer. You know what I mean? That's the importance of fasting and prayer. We want to get closer to the Most High. We want to have that faith, that spiritual strength. Prayer and fasting is going to get us there. Right? I just said Daniel, right? Daniel chapter 10. Daniel chapter 10. Yeah.
10 and what?
10 from the top.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 10 and verse 1. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision.
Right. So Daniel, we know, was given all type of visions, stuff like that for the Most High. Right. Read on.
Verse 2. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks.
So Daniel was mourning 3 full weeks, and this is the type of fast he did for 3 weeks, right? Read.
I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled.
And that's what he did for 3 whole weeks. So we see that a fasting is not always just no food, no water. Sometimes it's, you fasting from certain things. But fasting from one thing you definitely see most of the time is meat, bread, and wine. They staying away from, right? But let's go to Isaiah 58.
So you can fast from many different things then.
Right. But
So say
the closest things that get us to the Most High and to build up our faith is no food, no drink. That's the closest thing, best things. When they was fasting for long periods of time, like for instance with Ezra, we seen he did the 2 weeks of full fasting, and then the last week all he ate was flowers. Daniel did 3 straight weeks of just eating, flowers, vegetables, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When it's anything else, they not eating anything. Like for instance, Yahweh Shah fasting those 40 days and eat nothing. You got Moses fasting for 40 days, ain't eat nothing. Elijah fasting for 40 days, ain't eat nothing at all. You feel what I'm saying? But let's read that. Isaiah 58. We start from the top.
That's the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, from the top. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Which is our job. That's what we supposed to be doing. That's what Isaiah was doing, crying aloud. So don't spare nobody's feelings. Our whole purpose is to teach our people, how to serve the Most High, to come away from their sins, right? Read on.
Verse 2, yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways as a nation.
I would say this will go more so into like what the Christian church be doing. There's some Israelites that do this, but they act like they serving the Most High. They act like they seeking him. You feel what I'm saying? Like they want to be a part of him, but they really not following him at all, right? He's saying, yet they seek me daily. They acting like they doing that, right? Read.
And delight to know my ways as a nation that did righteousness and forsook
not acting like they're a nation that is righteous, right? Read on.
That did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their Most High, of their power. They asked me the ordinance of justice. They take delight in approaching to the Most High.
That's how the Christian church be. Oh, praise Jesus, and doing all this and acting like they following the Most High, and really they living wicked lives, right? Read on.
Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not. Wherefore
but they fasting, because they'll do their fast too. They fasting, but they see not. They don't see no gifts from that, nothing coming from that, right? Read on.
Wherefore we have fasted, say they, and thou seest not. Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge.
Right, they afflicting their souls, but they're not gaining no type of knowledge. When you fast, you're supposed to gain something from that. I remember when I came into this, when I came back, and brothers used to ask, like, I had a couple of times, like, how you remember all them scriptures? And they say, like, yo, you kind of advanced quickly. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I was fasting almost every weekend. Almost every weekend I was fasting and praying heavily till my eye start tearing and all that, crying and all that, fasting crazy. You know what I mean? And that helped. That helped build me up. It helped build me up faith-wise, helped build me up, understand scriptures more, and be able to retain them. I need to get back like that, to be honest with you. Right? But read on.
Wherefore we have Salakia, behold, in the day of your fast, ye find pleasure and exact all your labors.
Mm-hmm. He said, look,
Behold,
he said, on y'all days of y'all fast, y'all saying like y'all fasting, y'all doing everything else y'all want to do. Right? So fasting is not just when you fast, like you afflicting your soul, it's not just a food. You know what I mean? You're supposed to treat that day as a special day. You're not supposed to be just doing anything you want to do. They out there having sex while they fasting, you know what I mean? Playing games or whatever, you know what I mean? Doing whatever they want while they fast. He's like, you out there, read that part again.
and thou, Salakia, wherefore
Oh,
ye have fasted, say they, and thou seest not, wherefore you have afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge. Behold, in the day
mhm.
of your fast, ye find pleasure and exact all your labors.
Yeah, you finding the pleasure and you doing everything you feel you need to do, going to doing all your works and stuff like that. Right? Read.
Verse 4, behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye
Yeah,
shall
so they
not,
fasting. They're fasting to win debates. They're fasting for strife, stuff like that. Their whole thought pattern, the reason why they going into it is wrong. Right? Read on.
ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high.
Mm-hmm.
Is it such a fast that I have chosen?
Yeah,
A
Most
day,
High's not dealing with fast like that. You know what I mean? That's not coming humbly. That's not coming with a sincere heart. Right? Read on.
is it such a fast that I have chosen? A day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it
Mm-hmm.
is it to bow down his head as a bulrush and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou
Mm-hmm.
call this a fast and an acceptable day to the Lord?
Right.
Is
He said,
not
"How
this
you gonna call that acceptable fast?" That's like offering them when they was offering those lambs that was with blemish, broken legs, and all that stuff to the Most High. You're not gonna accept that. That's not right. Are you giving him something like that? That's not a true fast, right? Read on.
verse 6? Is not this the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bands of wickedness, to undo heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that
That's
ye
what the
break.
fast is for. That's what
Mm,
it's for. To take a, I mean, he said, read that part again.
yeah, no doubt. Verse 6, is not this the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bands of wickedness,
That's to
to
loose the bands of wickedness. Be able to fight against that. Read.
undo the heavy burdens,
Yeah, whenever they had problems, they fasted and prayed to the Most High, and the Most High helped them to undo those heavy burdens, right? Read.
and to let the oppressed go free,
Right, which we
and
should
that
be
ye
doing during
break
fast
every
as well,
yoke.
and to break every yoke. Should be proclaiming fast to get us up out of this captivity. That's what brothers was doing back in the days, right? Read on.
Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house?
Mm-hmm.
When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh.
Right. Read on.
Verse 8, then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thine health shall spring forth speedily, and thy
Yeah.
righteousness
Then that light will shine forth when you start doing this correctly. Then your light's gonna start shining forth, right? Read on.
and shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The
Mm-hmm.
glory of the Lord shall be thy reward.
Mm-hmm.
Then shalt thou call the Most High shall answer.
Then
Thou
will we call him and he'll answer. Then he's gonna start paying attention to them fast, listen and give us what we need. Right? Read on.
thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, and putting forth of the finger and speaking vanity.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10. And if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness as the noonday.
All right. Read on.
Verse 11, and the Most High shall guide thee continually and satisfy thy soul with drought and make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters fail not.
Yeah, so that's how we should be fasting, going in there with a humble heart. People is doing it just for looks, just to be put on. They'll fast to be put up there. They want to be the heads of Israel, well known, so on and so forth. stuff like that. We're supposed to be coming sincerely, help our people out. You know what I mean? Get us out of these bondage to loosen these burdens, so on and so forth. You feel what I'm saying? To humble ourselves and come to the Most High, right? You drop that. Get up. Let's get Matthew 16.
Now, when I fast, I generally don't tell anybody. Like, even when somebody be like, "Hey, you want some of this?" I'll be like, "No, no," and they'll keep asking, I'll never tell anybody I'm fasting.
Right,
I feel like
right,
that's what I'm
right.
supposed to
Yeah,
do.
I was doing the same way. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You know what I mean? That's how. Yeah, you don't have to tell nobody. It's better not to. People try to. A lot of people is doing it for Matthew 6. I think I said 16 earlier.
Said
Matthew
16, yeah.
6, 16. But yeah, and that's
Matthew
gonna
6 and
actually
verse
go
16.
into 6 verse 16, Con. That's going
All right.
into what you was talking about right now.
Okay. It's the book of Matthew, verse 6 and chapter 6 and verse 16.
Mhm.
Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they
Right.
disfigure their faces.
They just figure their face. You're like, yo, be not like the hypocrites with a sad countenance. Like they out there got everybody knowing that they fasting. You feel what I'm saying? Out there, sad face and all that, lip poked out. They rubbing their stomach or something. You know what I mean? Letting people know like they fasting. Right? Read on.
Verily I say unto you, they have their reward.
They have their reward because they want to be seen, make it seem like they so, you know what I mean, righteous. Right? Read on.
Huh? But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head and wash thy face.
So he like, yo, don't let it be shown, basically. Anoint your head, wash your face. You know what I mean? Let you look like a regular day for you, like you're not fasting, right? We don't.
That thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto the
Mm-hmm.
Father, which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly.
Right. So the Most High, you doing it. That's between you and the Most High. You doing it to be looked at, and the Most High not hearing that. If you doing that for the Most High and for whatever reasons that you was doing it for the Most High, which is got to be good reason, of course. The Most High is going to reward you openly, even because you're doing it in secretly, right? Read on.
Verse 19, lay up not for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
Yeah, a lot of people do stuff just to be seen here, just by be seen and be uplifted here with people up over here. That's laying the treasures on earth, right? Read on.
Verse 20, but lay up treasures for yourself in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Right, read.
Verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Right, and that's where our heart needs to be. Focus on the Most High in heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Con.
Right, but we could drop that. Let's grab Joel chapter 1. We're gonna read this and get probably one more scripture, and then that'll be it on this.
My computer's about to die.
Chapter 1, verse 14.
Joel 1:14. My computer's about to die, Salakia.
Okay, come. How long you got?
I don't know. Joel 1:14.
Come.
Joel. Chapter 1 and verse 14. Sanctify ye a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Most High, your power, and cry unto the Most High.
The Most High is telling us we should sanctify some fast. We should do that. Get together, grab everybody together. I know brothers like Wi-Fi, they did that a few years back to back. They did where they'll put out, put it all over social media. Yo, we asking for everybody to do a fast this day, 2-day fast. You know what I mean? We all do it together. It's a beautiful thing. Right? He said, sanctify fast, right? Read on.
Verse 15, alas, for the day of the Most High is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come.
And that's coming. That's that day of judgment. That's coming. That hasn't happened yet. So we fast, and we supposed to fast to build ourselves up to get prepared for that day, right? You could drop that. Well, go to Joel chapter 2, verse 11.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, and verse 11. And the Most High shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. He is strong and executeth his word. For the day of the Most High is great and very terrible. who can abide it?
Yeah, and we that army that he's calling. We the army of the Most High, and he's talking about that day, that great and terrible day is that day of judgment that's coming. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, right? But how we build ourselves up spiritually for that by fasting and prayer, right? But read on.
Verse 12, therefore also now, saith the Most High, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning.
So with fasting, weeping, and mourning is how we supposed to turn back to him, right? Read.
And rend your heart, and not your garments, and turn unto the power, to the Most High your power, for he is
And that's
gracious.
what Yahweh Shah was going into. He's saying, rend your heart, not your garments. Meaning, we doing this on the inside. You know what I mean? People back in the days, rent their garments, rip their clothes, let the whole world know that they're fasting. You know what I mean? This is between us, right? But read on.
For he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil.
Right, he's gracious and merciful, slow to anger. Like he'll accept that. We come to him truly, humbly, fasting and praying and asking for forgiveness. He got us. You know what I mean? But read on.
14. Who knoweth if he will return and repent and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Most High your power?
Right, read.
Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify and fast. Call a solemn assembly.
Right, blow that trumpet. That's what them brothers are doing when they putting that out there on social media. They was blowing that trumpet, sanctifying, you know what I mean, sanctifying a fast, right? Which what we should be doing. Read.
Verse 16, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet.
Mm-hmm.
Let the priests and the ministers of the Most High weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O thy power, and give not thine heritage to the reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their power?
Right. We should be praying and fasting that our people be spared, that we get up out of here, get up out of this hell, get our heritage back, so on and so forth. Get under the rule, under the thumb of these heathen, right? Read on.
Then will the Most High be jealous for his land and pity his people.
Right.
Yeah, the Most High will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith, and I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen.
Right. You see what he said. Now, after we do all this, after we cry mourning, and his thing just went off. That's all good though. We're gonna keep it up. So after he do all this, after we do all this crying and mourning, you feel what I'm saying? The Most High is gonna bring us. Did he come back on? Nah. After we do all this crying and mourning and fasting and praying, then the Most High is gonna sanctify. Then he's gonna give us back our land. Have mercy on his people, right? You want to continue where he left off at? Verse 19. Read to 18, actually.
It's the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 18. Then will the Most High be jealous for his land and pity his people. Yeah, the Most High will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith, and I will no more make a reproach among the heathen.
Right. He's gonna make us no more. That means we get the kingdom and we never come back. Right? Read on.
Joel chapter 2, verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and I will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the uttermost sea, and toward the utmost sea, and his sink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things.
Right, read.
Verse 21. Fear not, O land, be glad, rejoice, for Yahweh will do great things.
Yeah, so we see the importance. I hope everybody see the importance of fasting and prayer. Constantly, when the Most High deliver us, saying right here, before that day comes, sanctify our fast. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be doing that, coming to him humbly. and He will deliver us.
I
Right?
see that. I see that's required and not just something to add it.
Yeah. As we see at the end, it says, "Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Most High will do great things." He's gonna do great things for us. It's very important to fast and pray. Get your faith up. Come to the Most High humbly. You know what I mean? I think I'm pretty sure none of us, no matter how much they do it, we're not doing enough or
No,
as
I'm
we
not.
should.
I'm not. I'm sure. I'm sure I'm not.
I know I definitely gotta step it up. Definitely gotta step it up. So, but with that, any questions?
Nah, I appreciate the class. No doubt.
No praises. No praises. And with that, I'm gonna end this broadcast. I say, Yahweh Shemin Shabbarakatam. You can say on out. Shalom.
Shalom.